All right, so this is how I am currently organizing all of the different musical projects that are ongoing. Generally, when I work on things, I just sort of let my brain be as free as it wants, which is good for coming up with ideas, but not necessarily great for sticking with things and finishing things. So this is a projects folder I'm just leaving on my desktop right now to sort of help my brain stay organized and also stay focused and sort of stay in the zone. And in a way, it's a way to help my brain to continue juggling the different projects I want to do. So some of these have been completed to some extent, while others, it's more of dipping the toe in the water sort of thing. But just looking at this first one, music for trio, this is what I'm doing with a bassist and guitar player and myself on saxophone. So trio, we did do one recording earlier this year and it was sort of a preliminary thing. But I've got the finale files here. These are the compositions. So if I want to work on this, I can just come in here, open this up and see where I'm at with the pieces. Parts, this is what I send to the players. Recording session, I've got audio and then video. So I had these cameras in the studio and then like different angles, different takes and all that. So I can come in here and edit when I want to, or see how, what sort of progress we've made with this group. Saxophone quartet, right now I just have one piece for that group, and I like it, and I want to finish it and try to do some more things for that group as well, because it's really fun and very different, but really enjoy that group. Sile, this is the big band. This has been an ongoing thing for the past few years, and I've been really happy with it so far. I'm glad that it hasn't completely taken over my life, but I like the amount of pieces I've been able to finish and the performances we've had. We were supposed to have 3 performances this spring/summer, all of which got canceled, of course. So now I can go in and sort of edit where I want to, write new things, and just help it continue to grow and stay on track. String quartet, we performed what I had for this piece back in the last fall, and I'd like to write more for this group and record it too. Just need to organize this folder a little bit more. Tracks from musicians, these are things friends have sent me, some things I've recorded on, other things I want to do more with, but some ongoing things in there. Transcription, this one's a little bit different. This is more of like a learning thing rather than a creative project, but I just threw it in here to help remind myself to keep the ball rolling there. Unaccompanied album, these are, I want to do an album where it's just me on saxophone and clarinet, and these are some ideas I have, and I've been throwing ideas around with this for a few years, but I've started to narrow this down a bit, and just to help myself figure out exactly which tracks I want to record for that. Voice memos, these are things from my phone, and I've been doing this for years, just recording little snippets into my phone. This is essentially where I come up with all of my ideas for composition, arranging, and a lot of times new improv ideas. So I have a backlog of tons of these files, and even if I just take a look at my current phone, we can sort of get into some of these, and I'll show you what I mean by this. Okay, so if I'm looking at my phone, I just keep my voice memo app down here on the bottom, so it's easy to open up at a moment's notice. This is where I usually just sort of keep like a diary of ideas for either composition or improv. A lot of it is either I'm singing clips or playing clips on the piano, but I mean, this just goes on forever, and I have an old phone just full of these as well. So a lot of times I'll just send it to my computer once I've sort of gone through and organized things. But I mean, this goes back probably to 2012 or so. But yeah, so I sometimes if I'm smart about it, I'll title it like, let's see, this would be Ellie, which would be large ensemble. The Serpent's Eye, I'm not sure. I know this isn't a piece, but maybe let me just try to listen to a clip of this to see if we hear it. Okay, so that was from 2017, and I must have thought at that time that this was an idea I could have still can turn into a big band chart. So essentially what I would do is if I'm trying to write something for the big band, or if I'm spending a day working on that music, I can come in here, find this, and if it jump starts, or if I feel like I can get back into that space that I was in when I recorded that, it could be useful to use that as a starting point for a new composition. Right now, I don't really remember what I was going for with that. To me, it really just sounds like a line that I guess could become a melody. At that time, because I wrote large ensemble there in the title, I was probably hearing other things in my head that would have worked with the big band. Right now, that's not really coming to me. So if I was going to write something for the big band, I might not start with this one, but I can leave this in the phone and come back to it if I want to. There's other ones like that. This one, I'm not sure what this would be. Yeah, it sounds interesting, like something I could maybe get back into. It sounds like I'm just working out an idea on the Rhodes keyboard, but I like the vibe of that. So, what I would do is I would go probably sit down at a keyboard again, work out some ideas, get a basic tune shape happening for a while, maybe re-record more into the voice memo app, then start putting some ideas into Finale. But yeah, this is a great way to sort of just bookmark ideas essentially in my brain, just in the voice memo app. I mean, everything for the most part starts here, whether it's a song idea or an instrumental idea or anything else. So this is really just a general, just shooting ideas out there, and some things will stick. Normally, if I take the time to record it into here, it means that I think it's a worthwhile idea of exploring more, and then take it from there. Okay, so if I'm going to break everything down into big sections in terms of the projects, basically I have the big band, which is Sile. I just tend to think of this as its own category. So with this one, I would love to record next year if possible. So I want to finish up some charts with that and add a few new ones to have about 8 that I can bring in the studio and do that. And then one category would be instrumental. And so for this, we've got the trio, which is basically happening. We did one recording and we're going to do another one whenever we can. We've got the string quartet, and this I need to finish writing and then record as well, but that's a very different thing. We've got the unaccompanied, and this one I've got lots to choose from, so I'm going to be narrowing things down with that. We've got music for the T-Bros, and I have quite a few ideas of tunes I want to bring into this group in my voice memos. So I want to go through and create a separate folder for this group of ideas. So this is a quartet, and I'd like to contribute more original pieces for this group. We have the sax quartet, and I have my one piece for that, and I want to maybe try to add two more maybe. I'd love to have three really solid ones with that and just sort of see where that goes. That's very new, and it's hard to know if I'll naturally be able to pull off more music for that until I really sort of try. So I guess those are the main instrumental categories: trio, string quartet, unaccompanied, T-Bros quartet, and then the saxophone quartet. A separate category would be vocal, and again, getting into the voice memos. Lots of song ideas in the voice memos. Really no documentation. I don't really write down lyrics or have phonology charts for any of that, but a lot of it is in the voice memos, so I can go through that. I've been thinking about other ideas for this in terms of YouTube videos, and I have a few. I'm not going to say what they are yet, but and then what else? Oh yeah, I guess a miscellaneous section would be tracks from other musicians or friends, and that one is more open-ended. I can use the tracks with videos in different ways. I can add my own things to the tracks. But that's sort of a different section. I don't really think of that as instrumental because it's not just my own composition, but it's more of a collaboration sort of thing. So these, I guess, are the four main categories I'm thinking of right now: big band, instrumental, which contains all of this stuff, vocal things, and then miscellaneous, or I guess that would be collaborations. So that is what is going on.